If you were an optimist in the middle of 2025, you're thinking, oh my goodness, Project Motor Racing is going to come, Rennsport is going to come full launch, Evo Free Roam must be coming soon. Then you get hit with the Assetto Corsa Rally comes out of nowhere, and if you imagine what it would be like in 2026, you must be like, this is going to be the best year of sim racing ever. But
yeah, the reality is we've had a lot of stuff has come out in early access.
Or not early access, but actually should have been early access.
Yeah, or not polished. So there's been a lot of damp squibs.
Yeah.
Damp squibs. Not that they're necessarily universally terrible, or not actually. There's a lot of stuff where it's not like outright broken, and there is stuff where it's outright broken.
Is that because the marginal gains are a bit less? They're actually good games. Like, is Project Motor Racing actually a good game for £50, and it's treated harshly because of the competition, or is it just not a good game?
Well, hang on, Project Motor Racing.
No, because so it's like I'm saying that it seems like nothing is really. We're not like we're not in a golden age. But actually, are we in a golden age? We just don't know it.
Okay, so I'd say what's happened is a lot of stuff is released where the games would have been good, but they've always released with like bugs or their early access. So there's not been the thing where something is released where you're like, I don't know if I like it or not, or it's not the best thing ever, or it's not good or bad, but at least it's a thing that's solid.
It's not offending me.
The problem that's happened recently with a lot of the sims that have come out is that they're fundamentally there's been a lot of buggy stuff in them, or they're fundamentally unfinished, not polished products. And so I think that has really sort of removed the hype.
Let me put this to you. Is it not the case that the original AC was buggy and unfinished?
It wasn't,
and
though.
ACC?
No, that's the original. So yeah. This is here we go. He's like, oh, he's triggered him. He said the AC word. Now, this is a common myth in sim racing. AC1 was never actually buggy, really. It was just really early access and bare bones. Yeah. Not a solid game, but they never really hyped it or promoted it as that. It was following on from Netcar, which was also really bare bones. Yeah. So. I think the thing that's happened in the recent titles is that they've been promoted as if they are fully fledged games, and then people sort of go, oh, well, what's a fully fledged game? Is it going to be like Forza? Is it going to be like Gran Turismo?
Do we take some blame for that? Are we too optimistic about games and like, well, if it is what they promise, this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread?
I blame influencers for everything, really. Yeah. I see influencers as like. They're like ticks or leeches on the sim industry, waiting in the grass or the swamp, and then waiting for a game to come along, and then they latch themselves on, and then they suck the life force out of the game. So I blame all influencers, particularly Random Call Sign. Actually, he's one of the worst.
We killed career mode. It was us. We went into the servers to read it.
So, hang on, this is so off the rails. Can you tell I've only had 3 hours sleep here?
No, but we're saying like, people want it should be a golden age. Okay. I'm sure we've all made videos saying like, is it a golden age?
Okay.
Well, it kind of feels like if you want to go if someone says to me, I want to go sim racing right now, I say, right, what's your level? What are you looking to spend? If it's on the lower end, get a PlayStation and go on Gran Turismo. If it's a bit more serious, get iRacing.
And that
hasn't changed for the last 3 years.
Yeah, we're in a weird state where, to be honest, you actually have some fantastic titles there. Like Gran Turismo is actually, GT7 is a fantastic all-round title and incredibly good value for money. Yeah. AC1, if you want to like do driving, like it's basically free. Real drivers are using it for training with, and you have infinite mods and add-ons. And someone's just added police chases and pedestrians. Like what on earth? And then you have like LMU, which is really nice and polished with the multiplayer, and you can go in and do online races and have a good time with your ranking. Stuff that would have previously, which would have cost a lot of money on iRacing previously. And then, of course, you still do have iRacing, which if you've got the money to spend and you want to do the really sort of very sweaty, competitive stuff, it's not perfect, but it's there. And you've got ACC still, perfectly. Yeah, and ACC hasn't got any worse, has it? Well, no, it's just I don't know why Kunos are not pushing that as much as they could do, and I guess they're working on Evo. But so there's a weird state with sim racing. It's kind of the simulator thing, I think, where simulators actually operate at a slower pace than your AAA game title. They look at flight sims. They go back 40 years, or the same sim is like 10, 15 years old, and that's normal.
Is that because in flight sim there's more of an acceptance that once you've got the fundamental physics of flight, then you don't need to keep deleting it all and starting. And
exactly, it's like an engine.
What did Forza say from the ground up?
Yeah, from the ground up. It's a simulator thing. It's a different type of player that's playing it for longer as well. Like even with like Kerbal Space Program, the novelties coming from playing with the physics of sandboxes. it's a different thing to sort of the
That's
gaming
really
stuff.
interesting, actually, yeah, because it is about Curb will, I'll build a different spaceship, same physics and everything.
Yeah.
And in sim racing, maybe it should be more about I'm going to drive a new car on the same physics model, right? But the thing is all physics models in sim racing games are all held together by tape, aren't they? It's all smoke and mirrors, that's the thing.
But I think the thing is, though, so 2026 in some ways is absolutely incredible for sim racing, especially when you've got all the hardware, cheaper hardware.
It can't be any worse in 2025. Well, leave aside building a PC, maybe.
But what has been disappointing is I think a lot of people really want like a new release that's like a new Gran Turismo,
With
a new
everything in
Assetto, a new whatever, and a new release that does both single player and multiplayer.
And free roam.
Yeah,
And
free roam,
modding.
and gives you a back massage, and does your makeup and everything, and combs your hair. Yeah, people want. They just want people want a solid
All-in-one? Are you
game.
saying they want like an all-in-one?
all-in-one game,
Yeah.
like a Gran Turismo basically, but on PC with
Because you can use all the hardware.
yeah. So, and I think that's what's been lacking, and that's what people have wanted, and that's why with Evo, with them announcing changes to the single player, and that's still not knowing what's going on there. I think that's why there was so much backlash there, because that is the one thing that people really want, is a solid thing to do, a gameplay thing to do.
But it's interesting you phrase like that, because I feel like a load of the new sims have come out and tried to be everything. So Project Motor Racing was like, they basically explicitly said, we're going to offer you an iRacing experience, but you don't have to pay a sub, so we're better.
Yeah.
And we're also going to have a career. It turns out that the online racing in Project Motor Racing, you have to just sit looking at like a countdown. It's not very exciting. And also the career mode, I think is actually, I think it patronises me. And then like you look at like Le Mans Ultimate, they've talked a long time about doing a career mode.
Yeah.
What I see, actually looking at the screenshots, it looks completely basic to me. Like, again, like almost a bit patronising.
I think the difficulty is, to defend the developers a little bit, it's a hell of a lot of work initially to get a single player in career mode there, and it's debatable how many players will actually spend the time using it, especially if you've already got multiplayer.
Is it a bit like Battlefield? They have to do a career mode, otherwise it gets up,
it's an opposite. Yeah, it's the battle. Yeah, same issue as the Battlefield thing. But if you're going to do a career mode properly, that is a hell of a lot of work, and you kind of have to build the whole game around it, and then it's an entire gamble on that career mode.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a lot of complicated function. You can't just bolt it onto a physics engine.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of systems that you've got to.
So
you've got to hire people who really know what they're doing.
Yeah, you need an entirely separate department that just does gameplay in single player, and that's not something that sim developers typically have.
We're going to the motorway.
There's a crossing over here. Yeah. So the developers have a, they're good at. They've got the frameworks of the engines they've picked up on, and then they're very good at polishing those.
So what was the Evo plan? When they come out and say it's going to have career mode at the beginning, what was the plan? How was that going to work?
I don't know what the Evo plan was. I just think this video's all over the place. This is well good. This is like ADHD. ADHD encapsulated.
More chaos, the viewers are saying.
Yeah.
It's too structured.
Oh look, it's meteorite. What's ever? No, I mean I don't know. I think it's just always been very confusing. That's my perception of it. It's like,
you know, the ironic thing.
Yeah.
I think if iRacing came out and they'd been stealth doing a proper career mode, I think it would absolutely tear it up. The fact that you have to buy your car for like $12, so it's a meaningful investment, and then you're actually going to be like meta incentivized to really run it for a long time, which is this kind of like scarcity that every game is trying to get back. They're trying to get the scarcity back.
Yeah.
I think that would actually do absolute numbers.
I think this is my prediction.
Yeah.
iRacing within the next 2 years are going to do an iRacing console game of iRacing, and that will be when they announce doing a single player, and it will have like a single player mode because they've already got good AI. They just need the structure. Yeah.
Do you think they'll fall at the same hurdle as everyone else, and it'll just be rubbish, and they won't be able to do it?
I don't think iRacing that the hand's not forced because they have enough brainwashed people paying monthly fees.
Yeah.
So they've got the cash flow, and they're not in that position of having to push a game out when it's clearly not ready to recoup the costs.
Let's talk about let's switch gears. Let's get AC Rally, right? AC Rally. I don't know what your thoughts were. I think we probably both played it at Sim Expo first time. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. I really liked it. I thought the graphics were good. I wasn't a fan of the latest patch, but you know, I generally really like it.
We're literally getting run over.
However,
Yeah.
that game has absolutely basically no career. It's just a selection of stages that you do forwards, backwards, halfway, backwards. It's like there's no like. It has this lovely like history of rallying, right? And it goes all these photos, right, and tells you all this like museum, but it basically has no career mode. So, is anyone doing a career mode in sim racing right now? Who's actually doing?
I think they're working. They're working on it. They're all working on it, but no one's actually delivered it.
Yeah.
So,
if you're watching and you can do a career mode, okay, hang on, this serious question. If anyone can hear us, what do you think an actual good career mode in sim racing looks like?
yeah, what would
So I think it's like a Toka thing. It's got to have cutscenes, but then you go look at Grid, right? Grid did all that stuff.
Well, do you remember?
And Grid was a bit pants.
We'll keep going this way. Do you remember the old Forzas, like Forza 3,
Yeah,
Forza
yeah.
Motorsport 3? I think that's perfect, basically, for
Upgrade your car.
yeah. It was like a very mild version of the Gran Turismo thing,
Yeah.
but made way more accessible. You didn't have to be a car person or invested,
No.
and it's presented a bit like a Top Gear episode.
Just put a big turbo on
yeah,
it.
you keep doing races. You've got some basic car additions and car unlocks, and you have nice fancy cutscenes and things unlocking stuff. And I think that's what you need. You just need to be like.
But was that a bit in an age before TikTok and Instagram and phones, Forza Motorsport 3, before the smartphone?
Yeah.
Probably, right? Like, you didn't. Oh, that's nice. A 308 GT.
Yes, that's a Kireth GamerMuscle GT.
We've come all the way to Germany, but I think the 308 GT. Obviously, the 308 GTI was that's a sleeper car. That one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 4 wheels, black. So I know my
We've got
cars.
a son if we're like Anton Deck.
Okay.
Um,
We look like we're on a Christmas adventure.
but has that time gone? People like. Can you have that kind of game anymore? Like,
Well, I think that's what Forza Horizon does really well. I think
but Forza Horizon just like vomits on you, and it's all like multicoloured. Like,
I
cars,
liked. Okay, I never really played 5 because I couldn't get it to work with my stuff properly. But Forza Horizon 4 for me is
Scotland.
actually the best racing game that's come out. The one that was in Scotland.
Yeah.
That's the best racing game that's come out.
Most polished for sure.
Yeah, like where there was 30 hours of load it up,
Oh
sit
my
down,
God.
play through it, have fun, gameplay.
Don't tell me that's a 208 GTI. We're in Germany. Oh no, it's just the HDI.
Oh no, the
Ooh.
HDI. Yeah, I mean, I was never a fan of the HDI. Yeah,
No, but the 208 GTI,
Yeah.
like 380mm brakes and that.
I mean, yeah, well, that's it. I mean, for me, my passion is road cars with brakes.
That's not a 208.
Are you genuinely into road cars?
I am into road cars. I'm doing some track days this year. In fact, you should come down. I'm doing a sim racing track day.
Where are you doing it at?
Castle Combe.
I don't know, where's that?
It's in Bristol.
Bristol.
It's Bristol. So
Bristol Temple Meads.
we're going to be doing that's a station.
Yeah.
You can't
I don't
go
drive.
around
I
into
only
city.
know the stations. I don't know where.
But I'm
I
going
don't
to be
drive.
doing there's going to be some companies down there
Nice.
with cars and stuff as well. So it's the idea is like a little bit like this Forza Horizon stuff in real life. Like go
Okay,
down in your
that's
car
cool.
and see how it is on the track. So
You like road cars, right? Forget the sim racing. You like what about race cars, like track cars, Caterhams, Radicals?
because
You
I
know,
do
you go karting for a
because
lot.
I do karting, the idea of like being in a Caterham is cool, but it's not like I don't know. I do karting for my fix anyway, so I'm not like.
your racing fix.
I think
this
the
is
car-
enough. My rims
Honestly,
are broken.
Also, by the way, on there, that's quite a nice Mazda 3, isn't it? on this whole thing, right?
Yes. It's another Peugeot.
E208. You don't realise it was Stellantis one.
Yeah.
But I think any racing game with a career mode should start you off in karting. You should start off at the karting track.
Yeah.
Already the physics of dinosaurs are tearing their hair out, right? Because they've got to create like.
Well, also
single axles.
interesting you bring up karting. It is like go-karts are like one of the best ways to feel what a Sims tyre model and physics engine are, because
Yeah.
it obviously
There's
it
no
doesn't
weight
have
to the car.
Yeah, it doesn't have suspension. It's different from a car, so it's slightly different anyway. But it really highlights the tyre model of a simulator. So
Yeah.
when you play go-karts in AMS1, AMS2, AC1, R-Factor, you know,
Yeah.
you really get the distilled essence of what those vehicles are going to be like when braking and...
But I think that would be
limit.
okay, so I'll answer my own question then.
Yeah,
So I think the perfect sim racing career mode starts you off in karting. Like
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
just got you've got a second-hand kart,
Yeah.
and you're doing karting, and your car is visibly slower than the other karts because it's rubbish. And maybe in your first race it conks out
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. And look at the brakes on that. Look at the brakes on this. That's a serious. On the rears as well.
It's got to be able to come off the Autobahn, hasn't it? That's
Yeah.
the,
So you start off in karting, and
Yeah.
you're literally like scraping together sponsorship and parts, whatever. And then when you get your new kart, it has to be a big moment because you're actually the same pace as everyone else in terms of kart, but because you've had to work out how to overtake them, you're now miles quicker, if that makes sense. And then you get offered a drive in like a F4 or something, and you do like an F4 championship. And like you have to do, you can't jump. This is the thing.
Yeah,
In every game right now, you just, next race I'll drive a GT3 and then I'll drive a Dallara EXP.
yeah.
It's nonsense. You're like no one in the world, even if you're a billionaire, can do that. Like I think, so therefore we have no connection to any story. I think.
well,
I think it has to force you through stuff. You have to have the conviction to restrict the player.
I think you end up with where the developers have struggled with this is that with a traditional sim, a large number of the player base kind of just want to jump into any car or the car that they happen to specifically want to drive in that sim, and maybe they only drive one sim, and they don't want it locked up at all, right? So that's quite a large part of the hardcore sim base. But then you have the gameplay experience in gamer base where I think they would like the traditional game mechanic of start off with a rubbish weapon and you upgrade and you get better, or start off with a rubbish car or go-kart and you get... So it seems like developers kind of get... You even actually saw that confusion with Evo, where you launch... Oh, do we launch into career mode?
Or open.
What's
the difference? They're actually the same, as far as I can tell.
You might, so... But yeah, I think if you're going to do you can have an open simulator, you just say,
by the way,
career mode is locked down.
Can I just say on that, with the Evo thing, because RIP, career mode and open, right?
Yeah.
Do you think 100%, when you click career mode, it should take you into the garage?
Yeah.
There should be some music like ambiently on the radio, and your car's there and some mechanics are working on it. And then you feel like, it's my career.
Yeah.
But the fact you clicked it and you went to exactly the same must go against every rule of game design.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It should have loaded you into like a really scratty, like really dodgy council estate, like a rented council estate garage.
If you had the Escort.
Yeah, and then there's a broken bit of rusty car in the corner.
Yeah.
You know, just a bit of story, but yeah, that would have been nice. Oh, there's a underground outside. I don't know where we're going. There's a non-direct.
I will see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.